The house looked perfect in the photos. That was the problem. James and Claire had been driving for 4 hours when they finally turned onto the gravel driveway of the rental property. It was a small farmhouse, stone walls, dark timber shutters, sitting alone at the end of a long wooded road in rural Yorkshire. No neighbors visible. No sound except wind through the trees and gravel crunching under the tires. Claire pressed her face against the passenger window like a kid. James, it's exactly like the pictures. Yeah, he said. It is. They had rented it for 5 nights. A late anniversary trip. 2 months overdue because work had swallowed everything. No kids, no obligations, no alarm clocks. Just the two of them and 5 days of nothing. They unloaded the car in the early evening light and walked through the house together. Kitchen, living room, 2 bedrooms upstairs, a bathroom with an old clawfoot tub that Claire immediately claimed as hers. There was a basement too. Stone walls, low ceiling, a washer and dryer, storage shelves stacked with old paint cans and folded tarps. And at the far end, a wooden door. Locked. James tried the handle once. Solid. He assumed it was the owner's storage. Every rental had one. They cooked pasta that night and drank wine on the porch until almost midnight. Claire laughed more than she had in months. James watched her and thought that this was exactly what they had needed. Exactly what he should have done 2 months ago, 3 months ago, a year ago. They went to bed happy. The smell woke Claire at 2 a.m. She lay still for a moment, trying to identify it. Musty, sour, like old clothes left damp too long. She assumed it was coming from somewhere in the old house, a drain maybe, or the carpet, and turned over and went back to sleep. In the morning, she mentioned it to James. Old house, he said, pouring coffee. They all smell a little. It was stronger than that. I'll open some windows. She let it go. That afternoon, they hiked the trail that looped through the woods behind the property. Beautiful, quiet, golden light coming through the leaves. On the way back, Claire stopped at the edge of the tree line and looked at the house. James. Yeah, that window. She pointed to the small basement window on the side of the house, half hidden by overgrown grass. Is the glass fogged on the inside? James looked. The basement window had a faint condensation on the inner surface, like someone breathing nearby, like body heat in an enclosed space. Old windows do that, he said. Claire stared at it a moment longer. Then she followed him inside. The second night was when James heard it. He had gotten up for water around 3 a.m. and was standing at the kitchen sink when he heard, from directly below him, a sound, slow and deliberate. Footsteps, not pipes, not the settling of wood. Footsteps crossing the basement floor. He stood completely still. The footsteps stopped. Silence. James set his glass down very carefully and went to basement door. He stood there with his hand on the knob, listening. Nothing now. He told himself it was an animal, a fox, maybe, that had gotten in somehow. He went back to bed and didn't sleep for the rest of the night. In the morning, he went down to the basement and walked every inch of it. Empty. He checked the locked door at the far end. Still locked. He sniffed near the gap in the door frame. The smell hit him like a wall. Not a drain, not carpet, not an old house. Something warm and human and close. He stepped back from the door. His phone was in his hand before he knew he'd reach for it. He called the rental management company, got a voicemail, left a message, called again, voicemail again. He went back upstairs and told Claire they were leaving in the morning. He kept his voice calm and gave her a reason that wasn't the real reason. He said he wasn't feeling well, said he wanted to sleep in their own bed. Claire looked at him for a long moment with the particular attention of a woman who knew him completely. What's actually wrong? She asked. He shook his head. Tomorrow, he said. I'll tell you tomorrow. That night, James couldn't sleep at all. He lay in the dark with his eyes open and listened. Claire was asleep beside him. The house was quiet. He watched the ceiling and told himself he was being irrational, that whatever was in the basement was nothing, that he was a grown man who was frightened of the smell and some old floorboards. Then the bedroom door handle moved, just slightly, just a small rotation, testing the lock, and then settling back. James sat up. He grabbed the torch from a nightstand and crossed the room in 3 steps and threw the door open. The hallway was empty, but the basement door at the end of it was swinging slowly shut. James ran. He hit the basement door and went down the stairs and snapped the light on and crossed the floor and reached the locked storage door and pushed it, and it swung open, no resistance at all, wide open on its hinges. He shone the torch inside. A sleeping bag, a pillow, a plastic crate with folded clothing inside, water bottles, food wrappers, a battery lantern, a phone charger coiled on top, and a paperback novel open and face down, like someone had set aside just a moment ago, intending to come back to it. James stepped back. His hand was shaking. He stepped back again, and then turned around and walked very quickly upstairs and into the bedroom and shook Claire awake. "Get up," he said. "Get your shoes. We're leaving right now." She looked at his face and asked no questions. The police found a man in the tree line 20 minutes later. He was sitting with his back against an oak tree, as if he were simply resting. He was in his 60s, calm and quiet. He did not explain himself. The detective who took James's statement told him the man had a key to the cellar door, had been coming and going for over a year between rentals, and during them had never, as far as anyone could confirm, harmed a guest. Then what did he want? Claire asked. The detective had no answer for that. James still thinks about the novel. Not the man, not the sleeping bag, not even the door handle turning in the dark. The novel, face down on the floor, pages bent back, a man's place saved in the story, as if everything was normal, as if he had simply stepped away for a moment and would be right back. That detail, more than anything else, was what made it impossible to forget.